Hello everyone. Today I will be talking about stress and how it can harm you. As a freshman in college, I know about stress. A lot of things can stress you out. Some common stressors include things like work, loss in the family, school, and general feelings of powerlessness, like when you're facing poverty or racism. These stressors can freak you out enough to mess with your body. Here's how it goes. At first, there's an initial freak out, fight or flight, your alarm bell's going off saying, hey, this thing is scary. So like a presentation for your class, for example. The next is resistance. Your body is trying to settle down and be like, stay calm, stay grounded, and chill. Then there's exhaustion, where the stressful situation is finally over and you let out a breath and it's done. Your body does all this to try to minimize the damage the stress does on your body, but it may not work as well as it should when you have a lot of stress in your life. People may believe that your schoolwork or interacting with rude customers at your job can't physically harm you, but it turns out it can. Stress can actually harm your body and make you very sick, including illnesses like heart disease and other general sickness that can shorten your lifespan. I can attest to this, as I never have a day off, and I've experienced things such as heart palpitations for about 6 years, and a cough that lasts over a month. Kids, don't follow my footsteps. A longitudinal study, or essentially a study that lasts years, of 180 nuns showed that life longevity was based on positive emotions, such as happiness, interest, love, and hope. It was found that the nuns whose lives contained these positive emotions lived an average of 9 years longer than those who didn't. This proves that being stressed and in a negative mindset can greatly affect how long you live. Something that you can do to reduce stress is to think of your locus of control, whether it's your own control or your internal locus, or something beyond your control, your external locus. When you feel in control of your situation, it can help you feel better about the thing stressing you out, and can reduce or even eliminate the chance of your stress making you sick. For example, if you're stressing about a speech you have to do, put it into your control by practicing as much as you can to feel more comfortable saying the words in your speech and practicing your movement. There are 2 limits of control. Primary control, which is an effort to modify your reality by changing the people, situation, or events, and it's seen as a fighting back philosophy, mostly seen in Western cultures. The other control is secondary control, which is an effort to change your reality by changing your attitudes, goals, or emotions, or a learn to deal with it philosophy, mostly adapted by Eastern cultures. You may recognize this from a fixed mindset versus growth mindset, where they promote, instead of giving up, you would try your best to just fix your mindset, to, although this is hard, I should keep going and maybe use this method instead. Another way to lessen stress is using the more scientific approach, cognitive reframing. Our emotions can very well be influenced by your thoughts. I'm sure you or someone you know has experienced a bout of spiraling, when you focus on something negative and just keep thinking about negative things and you're just like, ah! This is a psychological technique that involves changing the way a person interprets and experiences their situations and thoughts. This is based on the premise that our thoughts and beliefs influence how we act and feel. This strategy is used to improve your well-being by reframing your negative thoughts. These are the steps. 1. Identify negative thoughts, or identify the automatic negative thoughts that cause stress. 2. Challenge the thoughts. This is done by asking questions like, are these thoughts really true? And is there another way to look at it? 3. Develop alternate thoughts. After challenging these negative thoughts, you then take time to develop more positive and realistic thoughts to replace those negative thoughts. Last is to practice. Repeat the first 3 steps of identifying, challenging, and replacing the negative thoughts to make you feel more in control about your stressors. For example, If you have a thought like, man, I'm gonna fail this test, you replace it with more positive language like, I'll change my study method to do better next time. Another example for if saying no to a person stresses you out, you can change the thought of, if I say no, they'll be disappointed, to, by saying no, I'm respecting my own boundaries, which strengthens our relationship. Now, here is my personal way of dealing stress. Distractions. That's right. When I'm having a bad day, usually all it takes to make it better is to hang out with my friends or watch my favorite show. Distracting yourself is a great way to relieve stress because it keeps you from ruminating, which is a big way people stress themselves out. We as people tend to be emotional, and when emotions are running high and you just keep thinking and thinking and thinking, it can be hard to stop. Our brains like to go haywire, and it's really hard to stop them. With things like distractions, however, you can ease the thinking for a little while and focus on something more positive to think about, which effectively brings up your mood. Bonus points if you have friends or family as a support system to listen to your problems and either give you advice or just be a listening ear to release everything that's troubling you. You may not afford therapy, but what about grabbing a treat to share with your buddies? Some say that it's almost the same thing anyways. Stress may be hard, but don't let it control you. Stress can be harmful to both your mind and your body, so it's important to do what you can to make sure your stress is manageable. Whether it's reframing your thoughts, trying to put things into your control, or plainly just trying to distract yourself from the things stressing you out, changing your thoughts about stress can make it less harmful, which can make you live longer. For more information on how to reduce stress, I suggest speaking to someone certified in that field, like a counselor or therapist, or looking online for other people's personal hacks in relieving their stress. I also suggest researching Dr. David Snowden's study about the 180 nuns I spoke about to learn more about the positive emotions that can make your lifespan just a bit longer. Cognitive reframing is another good thing to research too. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please let me know if you have any questions. This is a topic that I very much so enjoy, so I'm happy to answer any questions you have. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.